So welcome to the KX Country Clubhouse. I'm Derm from KX 94.7, and today my special guest is Matt Thomas from the band Parmalee. We're going to be chatting quarantine. We're going to be talking a little Motley Crue. Yes, you heard right, Motley Crue. And we're going to talk about the brand new album from the band called For You. Matt, welcome to the KX Country Clubhouse.
Thank you for having me, man. Glad to be here.
Parmalee, a family band comprised of you and your brother Scott, also your cousin Barry, and a lifelong best friend, Josh. The band feel like a family? You get along like a family? You fight like a family?
Yeah, all the above. I think we actually get along better than most people do for families, for being around each other our whole lives. But we figured it out. I think everybody kind of knows their role in things, and we know when to go left, when it's time to go left, when it's, like just get out of each other's way when we need to. We can push buttons too, and we can cause an argument over nothing quick, trust me.
And you guys all got through quarantine life that lasted a year or so with your heads all still on straight?
Yeah, I mean, it was honestly, it was pretty good for us to get a break from each other, because we have been together our whole lives mostly, and to have that little section of, we don't have to be at a certain place at a certain time. Let's just go live your life and just be with your families and stuff. Barry had a baby. Scott got married. Josh was able to spend some time with his wife, which he hadn't had in forever. And I was just concentrating on songwriting. So everybody, we feel like we made the best use of it as we could. And
some binge watching, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, dude. Everything. I mean, obviously started with Tiger King. That was the first thing when everybody got locked down here. That was the first week.
Same deal here. It seems like so long ago, doesn't it?
I know.
Tiger King.
I know, right? I mean, those first weeks we were anticipating we'd be back in, 4 weeks, a month. We'll be back. And so we planned for that. We were just working towards that. And then I think it was, for us, we got locked down on my birthday on March 14th, 15th. That was like when we got it. And there was a couple shows that we were able to do, some private events, some spread out things. But for the most part, we were still anticipating. And I think when August hit, we're like, okay, these shows aren't happening. They're all getting canceled. That was finally when we were like, okay, let's just sit back and enjoy the time off if you can. Because we're lucky that we were out here in the country, and that was a blessing to be out in the sticks this time,
We're going to take a little trip back to 2006. You guys worked in studio with Motley Crue bassist, songwriter, band leader Nikki Sixx. I'm a Motley Crue guy, so I got to ask about how that Nikki Sixx collaboration connection came about in Los Angeles.
We were working with a guy back home who had ties to a producer in LA who had worked with Nikki, and when he was in Brides of Destruction, he had produced some tracks for him. So he knew him. We made a connection. We were coming out, asked him if he'd write some songs with us, and he came in, and we wrote a couple songs, and he co-produced and co-wrote some of the songs. And it was really cool because, growing up Motley Crue fans, we, when he walked in the studio that day, it was like, that's Nikki Sixx. That's pretty cool. And as a matter of fact, that time we were there, he was working on the Heroin Diaries book, but he hadn't had it out yet, and he was reading us the actual pages out of his notes about the night that he OD'd and died and came back to life and all that stuff. That was really surreal. But yeah, I mean, like, just being able to go out to California, Hollywood, Venice, and and just be inserted in that lifestyle, and then be able to write with one of your heroes is pretty cool.
That's very cool. So it was back in 2013, 8 years ago, that Carolina went to #1, your guys' first #1 song. Things then kind of quieted down a little bit as far as radio and charts were concerned. 8 years is a long time. Were you guys concerned about being away from radio for that long?
I mean, yeah, because we had Carolina was #1, Calling You Mine. I mean, Close Your Eyes went to like top 3. Calling You Mine was top 10. And we had, Roots was top 40, and Sunday Morning was top 40, and then we had a couple that didn't really chart. But yeah, I mean, we were still grinding, we were working, we were going, but it is frustrating when you have 3 hits in a row, and then you're trying to keep it going, and it's very frustrating. Everybody wants to be on the radio, everybody wants to have a #1 all the time. That's never going to go for any artist. They're always going to want to have the #1, but And I think we spent a couple years just searching for what was next, and even from the writing standpoint, it was like, all right, what's obviously Carolina's your biggest song. I mean, if you could have 10 of those, you'd be golden, but they're hard to come by. But we knew we had Just the Way written. It was just, we knew the song was special. It just wasn't quite there yet. And we teamed up with our old producer David Fanning, and he suggested we get Blanco on it, and then he reproduced the song. We had about 4 versions of the song written, like a pop version, just acoustic version, and like it just wasn't quite where it needed to be for us. We didn't know if we could even do it, and then once we went in and did the Nashville thing, did the live band on it, then it was like, okay, this is sounding good. This is where it needs to be.
And what's it like as a band to, again, I don't want to say been away because you guys were still working, but to have been away from radio and then watch Just the Way climb and climb and climb, like that's got to be just,
oh, come on, man.
Like that's got to be incredible.
It is. It's the most amazing feeling because it's like we were before we were signed. We kept working. It's like your hard work pays off, and you finally get to see that. And and people, you have your people rooting for you. You have your fans rooting for you. You have everybody on your team that just knows. It's finally like they're really just waiting on you to give them the song. And when you can deliver the song, that's what everybody's waiting on. And then it's part of it, man. It's just that is music business. It's like Quincy Jones said. He said, you got to go through peaks and valleys. He said the peaks are going to take care of itself. The no worries. It's like you gotta learn how to roll back up.
Sure.
And, if you can, you gotta just know that when you get into this, and it'll always be the case. But yeah, what a great, I mean, especially over the pandemic, to have that song come out, connect, and just have that much positivity when everything else around you is doomsday. The country's fighting all this bad news. We can't work, not doing these shows, but just so thankful we had that little ray of light, kind of sending down a little bits of positivity all year when little things would happen with it. Pretty amazing, man.
And the song will be on the brand new album called For You, and the brand new album is coming out Friday, July the 30th. Was the album done, kind of written pandemic-wise, over Zoom, over sending files back and forth?
Yeah, I mean, we never intended on writing an album. We started, the first, For You is a song we wrote on the road, but that really started our, rekindle relationship with our manager, now producer, who kind of got back involved with us and gave us a little boost. And he did Just the Way, and we all just kind of just got in this attitude of let's go, let's get it, and we wrote For You on the road, and that was the first song we'd written together in probably 10 years. We must have had a good time together, and then we wrote that on the road. And so we just were writing songs here and there. But once Just the Way came out, we were just writing. We're like, okay, what's next? What's going to be next? What needs to sound like it needs to come behind Just the Way? What does everybody want to hear? And so we went into that mode. And a lot of these songs we would just write specifically for that. And they were like, let's put an EP out. And once we started stacking songs up, we're like, we got to put this up here. Well, you can't leave this song out. What about this? And the label, I'm so thankful. They loved the song so much. They were like, let's just put an album out. You guys turned in some great songs. And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds great. So it was really just we had all these songs kind of stacking up. And, when it was time, we just put the best, we knew we had Just the Way. So we put the best 12 songs we felt like would complement the vibe and the energy of the album.
Now, is there much left over from that? Like you pick your 13 favorite children.
Yeah.
Is there much left over? You're like, what do you do with it? Do you save it? Do you?
And that's one of the hardest things about doing this. You hope you pick the right songs and that songs do right. I mean, I've got leftover songs from the first album that we cut that we never put on the record, and the second album, and that there are a lot of leftover songs. You always hope you can have a place for them, but what happens is you start working on the next thing, and hopefully the songs get better, or you find better songs, or they don't time out, kind of thing. But yeah, we've got I think we had 25, 30 songs on the list, and we had to whittle down to 13. So I haven't gone back and listened to those songs. I need to go back and just rekindle myself with them, because there were some great songs that we really wanted to put up there, but we just didn't. We felt like these other ones kind of fit the vibe better.
You save those for the career box set anthology coming out in 20 years.
Yeah, that's right. The deluxe edition.
I'm sure you guys are anxious, obviously, after being quarantining. You got to spend some time with family and that, but you're got to be anxious to get back out on the road and be playing these new songs for the fans.
And we are. It's really, I've started to feel it over the past couple of weeks. Just things were coming in, interviews and the shows, and we're flying out to see radio. We're doing all the stuff that you forget how busy you are, and it's so much about all that instead of just like writing the songs and playing them. Like we're all over the place. But the shows have been amazing. People, the energy is just up. Everybody's just so excited to be out down here. You guys are pretty much locked down tight, huh?
We're starting to slowly starting to loosen up. A lot of folks are double dosed, so there's still some restrictions, but we've come a long way in the last couple months.
Yeah, I mean, I know we had planned to come up there last year, and that got moved around, and so I was hoping this year we were going to get to come up, but we'll be up there as soon as we can, because I'm telling you, we got to get up there to see our Canadian people, man, because it's been too long. It's been too long, and with the song hitting off and going #1 up there, it's crazy, man.
Well, we're ready for it. We're ready for you.
Yeah.
Any dream collaborations, Matt, in the not in the future, but dream collaborations? A couple artists you would love to work with, any genre.
I'm gonna shout out to your homeboy Justin Bieber. Like I love Bieber. I think he's got some amazing songs. Bruno Mars would be somebody epic to work with. Dave Grohl, Foo Fighters would be cool to do some stuff with. I'm such a fan of all genres. I'm just a fan of melodies and songs, and so whether it's a hip hop song or a rock song or a pop song, a country song, I just love melodies. And so anytime I hear anybody singing cool melodies, I'm like, oh, I love this, man. I'd love to work with them. But we do have a collab, a couple on the album with one of them with Fitz from Fitz and the Tantrums. We got him on one of the songs, greatest hits, and we're working with this young artist named Avery Anna. That she's amazing. She's a great singer. So we did a duet with her on the album. I'm really excited about people to hear that stuff.
So the new album from Parmalee is called For You. Release date is July 30th. We've been talking with Matt from the band. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today. Continued success and much success, future success with the new album. And you're welcome to come to KX Country anytime. The border is open. We look forward to you guys coming out here and hitting the boards, as they say.
Hey, we're coming, man. Save us some room.
Thank you for joining us in the KX Country Clubhouse today, and be sure to visit the video page at kxcountry.fm to check out our other recent artist visits, and you can stay up to date on all the latest interviews by following at KX96 and at KX947 on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. We'll see you next time in the KX Country Clubhouse. I'm Derm. We'll see you.